You want to have a meaningful life? Everything you do matters. That's the definition of a meaningful life. But everything you do matters. So you're going to have to carry that with you. Or do you want to just forget about the whole meaning thing, and then you don't have any responsibility, because who the hell cares? And you can wander through life doing whatever you want, gratifying impulsive desires for how useful that's going to be, and you're stuck in meaninglessness, but you don't have any responsibility. Which one do you want? Well, ask yourself, which one are you pursuing?
Over the last few years, I've learned a lot of things from listening to Jordan Peterson's lectures, videos, and reading his books. Some of the things resonated deeply with me and had a strong impact on how I view the world and how I go about my career and my life. In this video, I want to share with you 3 of the things I've learned from Jordan Peterson that have helped me a lot, especially at a time when I was thinking about what to do with my life and what kind of work I wanted to do. And depending on who you are and what kind of challenges you are facing specifically at this moment, different things may resonate with you more. So I would highly recommend watching his complete lectures and also read his books, which I will link down in the descriptions for you. Clean your room is one of the first quotes from Jordan Peterson that stuck with me. It came at a time when I felt that my life was messy, disorganized, and was lacking direction. This simple piece of advice had such a big impact on me. At a time where plenty of self-help gurus would preach self-acceptance, he took a completely different approach, which is to prioritize taking on responsibility.
The things you leave undone because you're angry, you're resentful, you're lazy, you have inertia. Well, you consult your conscience and it says, well, you know, that place over there could use a little work. It's the same as working on yourself, and so you clean that up because you can, and then things are a little clearer around you, and you're a little better off because you've practiced a bit, and so you're a little stronger, and then something else manifests itself and says, well, maybe you could like take a crack at fixing me up too. So you decide to do that, and then that gets a little bit more pristine, you know, and soon. And it's humble because you're not exceeding your domain of competence. You know, it's like, don't be fixing up the economy, 18-year-olds. You don't know anything about the economy. It's a massive, complex machine beyond anyone's understanding, and you mess with it at your peril. So, and can you even clean up your own room? No. Well, you should think about that. You should think about that. Because if you can't even clean up your own room, who the hell are you to give advice to the world?
In a literal sense, clean your room means to start getting your life in order by starting with the smallest unit of responsibility, which is your room. You can improve your situation slightly just by fixing the small things in need of repair that are within your immediate control, or even just by tidying up. No matter how chaotic your life may seem, that you can definitely do. Psychologically, it means to work on yourself, organize your thoughts, self-reflect, and get clear on what you are trying to do. There are several more layers to this message, and if you want to know more about this, check out the full video which I linked in the descriptions below. Pursue what is meaningful, not what is expedient. In his book, Jordan Peterson says that life is suffering, and that the most simple way people react to this is to pursue pleasure, follow your impulses, live for the moment, do what's expedient, lie, cheat, steal, deceive, manipulate, but don't get caught. Expedience is hiding skeletons in the closet and avoiding responsibilities. There is no faith and no courage and no sacrifice in doing what's expedient. He then says, to have meaning in your life is better than to have what you want, because you may neither know what you want nor what you truly need. Meaning is something that comes upon you of its own accord. You can set up the preconditions, you can follow meaning when it manifests itself, but you cannot simply produce it as an act of will. Meaning signifies that you are in the right place at the right time, properly balanced between order and chaos, where everything lines up as best it can at that moment. Jordan Peterson explains why it's important to pursue what is meaningful.
That's what life without purpose and a goal does to you as well, because life is very hard. So you think, okay, well, I need to adopt a mode of being that would justify my suffering. And you can ask yourself that question. What would make this worthwhile? I quote Nietzsche, I think in that chapter, he said, "He who has a why can bear almost any how." That's a lovely line, man. I mean, it's a lovely line. And it's really worth thinking about. So you think, well, how do I manage all this misery and suffering and futility? It's like, well, I need to figure out what I would have to do in order to make that clearly worthwhile.
Like most people, I used to pursue happiness. And yes, of course, I want to be happy. But I've learned that pursuing what is meaningful is far more important. And happiness is oftentimes a byproduct. I can chase trophies, money, buy stuff, but still feel empty. And don't get me wrong, I like having money and I like being successful. And you need money to pay your bills. But in the long run, what sustains me is pursuing meaning. That is what led me to this point of making these videos and also writing my book. Doing this doesn't make me happy all of the time. On the contrary, doing this can be so difficult and stressful at times, but it's meaningful. You might not be pursuing what's expedient, but are you pursuing what's meaningful? You might not be lying to or deceiving others, but are you perhaps lying to yourself and deceiving yourself and ignoring the things that are truly meaningful to you? By the way, if this video is useful to you so far, I would really appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. It would help to push this video out to more people, but also let me know that you like this kind of content. This video is part 1 of the things I learned from Jordan Peterson, and if I get a sense that you guys find this useful, I will make a part 2 very soon. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today.
You need an ideal because you have nothing to aim at, but an ideal is a judge, and you always fall short of the ideal. So how the hell can you have the benefits of having an ideal without having the crushing blow that goes along with having the judge that always regards you as insufficient?
Regarding other people, someone else as our ideal that we want to accomplish is a waste of time. But that's how most people live. In this hyper-connected world where you constantly get updates about other people's accomplishments, what they've achieved in their careers, how much money they're making, and how awesome their latest vacation was pushed in front of your eyes, it's so easy to constantly compare yourself to others. Although we have no business doing that. By comparing ourselves to others, it's as though we regard them as the ideal. We do need an ideal to strive towards, but it shouldn't be other people. Jordan Peterson says that especially when you get into your 30s, you should avoid comparing yourself to other people even more.
And one of the things I've noticed that around 30, you really have to stop comparing yourself in some ways to other people. And the reason for that is that the particularities of your life are so idiosyncratic that there isn't anyone really all that much like you, because the details of your life happen to matter. And so maybe you compare yourself to some rock star or something like that, and the person's rich and famous and glamorous and all that, but they're alcoholic and they use too much cocaine and they've had 3 divorces, and it's like, how the hell do you make sense out of that? Is that someone that you should judge yourself harshly against or not? The answer is you don't know, because you don't know all the details of their lives. And who do you know that you can compare yourself to? That's easy. You. Yesterday. So here's a good goal. It's something like, well, aim high. And I really mean that. It's like, and we'll talk about that a little bit too. Aim high, but use as your control yourself. It's like, so your goal is to make today some tiny increment better than yesterday. And you can use better, you can define better yourself. This doesn't have to be some imposition of external morality. You know where you're weak and insufficient, where you could improve. You think, okay, well, this is what I'm like yesterday. If I did this little thing, things would be just an increment better. And Well, that's a great thing, because you get the ball rolling, and incremental improvement is unstoppable.
I really took this to heart, and over the years, I've tried to look at specific things that I wanted to improve in my life and about myself. And it was really rewarding to see the tiny things that I could improve, like becoming more organized or becoming better at making content. Comparing ourselves to other people is a natural instinct, but every time that kind of thought pops up, try to remind yourself of this rule. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today. And at first glance, it might seem like, phew, this is so much easier. You're no longer comparing yourself to so-and-so. But oh boy, this is tough. There are just no excuses and no escaping here. You know exactly who you were yesterday, and if you're honest with yourself, you'll know if you're improving or just being stagnant. And I know it's easy to say don't compare yourself to others. We do it automatically. In case you do that too, then here's another video that I made a while ago that might actually be useful. I made this video about 2 years ago, and I'm wondering if my skills have actually improved or not. Perhaps you can let me know by dropping me a comment over there on that video. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and see you again next time.